What do you eat to cheer yourself up when you're feeling sad?
I love roast potatoes, baked potatoes. They're warm, buttery, nice olive oil. They make me feel good.
Does it make you feel better?
Yeah, usually it does. I think they're quite refreshing, warm. When you're feeling down, I think they're the perfect remedy.
How often do you eat out?
Well, my wife would probably like me to eat out a little bit less, but probably about 2 to 3 times a week.
What kind of places do you go to?
It always kind of depends. I think that people like to eat about 3 or 4 different restaurants in their town, no matter what. And it's usually one of those 3 or 4, usually pizza, Mexican, or Asian.
Why do you like these kinds of restaurants?
I guess part of it is it's a type of food that you can't normally prepare at home, and so it's something a little bit different. Otherwise, it's just tasty.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have step brothers and sisters, 2 stepsisters and 1 step brother.
Do you get on with them well?
Yes, we didn't grow up together, but we're now all adults and we get on really well.
Have you ever won any money, for example, in a lottery?
I won many years ago £1,000, which was amazing.
What did you do with it?
We went on an unplanned long weekend break in the Malverns in England, which was absolutely gorgeous.
Have you ever taken part in a charity event?
I have, yes. Run the London Marathon, I think about 8 years ago now, for cancer research.
How much money did you raise?
I think about £6,500.
How do you get to work?
I take the tube,
How long does it take?
45 minutes or so.
What do you think is the best way to get around London?
The easiest way is to take the tube, I think, but the nicest way is probably to go by a Boris bike. If you want to relax when you're travelling, then it's a nice way to see the city, but maybe not the quickest way to get around.
Do you think women are better than men with young children? Or do you think that's just a stereotype?
I think that it is definitely a stereotype that women are just better with children than men are. I believe that both sexes provide children with equally valuable experiences. So I definitely trust either sex to raise children and love children, with the same styles and the same quality and, respect and love.
Are there any stereotypes about men and women that you think are true?
I think women do think differently to men, and I think conversations tend to be different as well. Women are much more into what did you say and what did he say and what did you feel and all the rest of it. And men are far more pragmatic and, just want to know the score, as it were.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak English and I also speak Afrikaans.
Is there a language you'd like to be able to speak?
I would very much like to be able to speak Spanish.
Why Spanish?
Because Spanish is spoken all over the world and I feel it's important to be able to communicate with more people.
Is there anything that people do with their phones that really annoys you?
I would say from what I've experienced, they're either texting or looking at their phones while walking and not looking where they're going. I would say from what I've experienced so far in London, that would be the biggest for me.
Do you prefer doing sport or watching it?
Probably doing it. I find watching it really boring.
What sport do you do?
I don't do a lot. I'd say I don't mind tennis, swimming in variation, depends on the weather.
What sports do you most like watching?
If I had to watch one, I like the rhythmic gymnastics or the diving, like for example at the games when they're on TV.
Why do you like them?
I think because they're kind of like a dance. It's like a routine. It's very graceful. It's not as rough as sport.
Do you know anyone who has gone out with someone they met online?
I know lots of people who've gone out with people they've met online.
How did it work out?
A couple of people are married. For some of them, they're still with the other person, and for a lot of them, it didn't work out.
Have you ever cheated in an exam?
I have, yes.
How did you cheat?
I wrote the answers in a tissue and put it in my pocket and then went to the bathroom to read the answers that I'd written down.
Were you caught?
No.
What's your favourite film of all time?
That has to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I've read the books, I have no idea how many times. I absolutely adored the films.
How many times have you seen them?
No idea, but probably getting on for 10 times.
Why do you like them so much?
Part of that, I think, is because I never expected them to be made into films because they're just so huge in scale. And I think the CGI is amazing on them. So, and the characters, the casting is brilliant. So the whole thing really is just amazing.
Do you have a profile photo?
Yes, I have a profile photo on my Facebook and Instagram and Twitters.
What is it?
The profile photo on my Facebook page is of me and my husband in Las Vegas on our anniversary.
Why did you choose it?
My makeup looked good.
What was your favourite subject when you were at school?
History, predominantly modern history. That's the main reason my history teacher is the reason why I became a teacher. She was really inspiring and she made the subject come alive.
Were there any subjects you hated?
Maths, again due to bad teachers. And predominantly I just don't have a mathematical brain, so I found it very difficult.
What kind of things do you often buy online?
I buy online clothes, food to get delivered to home, and also a lot of beauty products as well.
Is there anything you would never buy online?
I don't think there is anymore. I don't think there is anything anymore that I wouldn't buy online.
Have you ever had really bad customer service?
Yes, I have had very bad customer service before.
What happened?
They were very rude. They didn't respect me. They didn't treat me very well. They didn't treat me I've had a waiter be very rude to me and sort of drop the plate on the table when they serve the dish.
What did you do?
I did not tip that waiter.
If you could change one thing about your flat,
Yeah.
what would it be?
A bit more green space. We have a garden, a little patio, which is great. But yeah, a garden with some green space would be amazing. Obviously, for now summer's coming, hopefully. That would be amazing, yeah.
What's more important to you about a job? Having a good salary or doing something you really enjoy?
When I first started work, I thought it was the salary. But later on in my working life, I decided it was actually more important to have a job that you really enjoyed. But I've come to the conclusion that they're both important. You can do a job that you really enjoy, but at the end of the day, we all need to live. So you do need the salary as well.
Have you ever helped a stranger or been helped by a stranger?
Yes, a few months ago I was catching a train home from work, and I went past a little girl with her two grandparents, and she was crying and she was really unhappy. And I thought, oh dear, but there's nothing I can do. So I went into the station and I went up the stairs, over the bridge, down the other side. And then on the floor, I saw a little toy panda. And immediately I knew that that was the little girl's panda, and that's why she was crying. So I ran back up the stairs, over the bridge, out of the station, and I saw the family in the car park. I could still hear the little girl crying. And I ran up and said, "Is this yours?" And the little girl took it, and the grandparents just said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." So that was nice.
Do you think we rely too much on technology?
Oh, absolutely. I think we really, especially our mobile phones, I've travelled a lot, so I used to rely on maps, and I would, the night before, when I'm travelling, I'd map out where I was going to go and have it all in my head ready to go. Now I just pull out my phone and use Google Maps.
Are there any devices you just couldn't live without?
Yes, probably my mobile phone.
Do you like detective or mystery novels or TV series?
Yeah, I have done. So I really like the Nordic noirs that were very popular a few years ago. So like The Killing and The Bridge, especially, I found really fascinating.
Do you have a favourite author or detective?
Yes, but can I remember her name? It's actually the one in The Bridge.
Do you usually guess who the murderer is?
I'll always try. Sometimes I get it, sometimes it's too difficult, yeah.
Do you have a favourite designer?
I've recently started wedding dress shopping and I really like the dresses by Maggie Sottero.
Why do you like her clothes?
The dresses are quite a vintage style, which is really flattering, and when I've tried them on, I think they're probably the ones I'm going to go for.
Do you think you are generally a lucky person?
Yes, I do, actually. I do think I'm lucky.
Can you think of a time when you've been really lucky?
I can think of an awful lot of times when I've been really, really lucky. I had a car accident many, many years ago, and even the police didn't know how I got out of it alive. So I think that really says it all.